So let's get to some important matters here in our Something Happened Today segment. And I'll put on one of the comments from one of our guests on YouTube here. Haliburton is not healthy. He is limping. I am confident that's why he is passive. Okay. So let's get into what we saw in the press conference after game 2. And he was limping pretty significantly. Like when you saw it, you're like, well, that's random. You didn't really see anything in the game that you knew was a specific injury. There's one play though. I wish I could rewind it, but I didn't record the game. Where it was in the fourth quarter, and he had to make I forgot who passed it to him up the court, but he had to make a dead sprint, like super, super quick, and kind of stop on the dime. And I remember being like, God, why is he in the game? There's like 5 minutes to go. Just the way like that play looked, I'm like, man, he could have easily hurt his hamstring, could have strained a calf, something like that, right? And then kind of after that point, I was like, oh, he just kind of jogging around, didn't really look like he was right into the game after that. So goes into the press conference, you see that, but nobody's really talking about it. They get to practice yesterday and today, and two things. Rick Harlow said he was in some discomfort, and it's a lower leg injury, which who knows what that means, right? Yeah. Haliburton said, I'm fine. I'm going to play game 3. That's obviously player talk, coach talk. They're going to say, yeah, I'm going to play. No big deal. There's been no diagnose. Nobody's saying anything. Obviously, it's the NBA Finals. They're not going to tell you right now.
Right.
So my thing is, I did look at the tape that he had on today at practice, and it was actually coming up the calf a little bit right below your main muscle, the gastroc. It was around where we call our soleus, which is part of our calf muscle, and then probably up the Achilles. So if I had to put 2 and 2 together, it seems that it's definitely not like an ankle injury because the tape job was going all the way up the calf, the backside of the leg. He either has some sort of soreness or something going on in his Achilles or calf, which can be very concerning kind of moving forward. I just don't know if he strained it or anything.
Yeah, it was kind of similar. I mean, obviously different injury and things like that, but I thought of like game 6, I think it was, when Aaron Gordon pulled his hamstring, where it was like a game was well in hand and you're like, man, still out there and just crazy. And that's, I mean, it could obviously happen in the first quarter, but it's like a bummer when it's like game is out of hand and it happens. And so hopefully it's nothing serious, but as you alluded to, or as you mentioned, it is something, and it is the finals. There's going to be some gamesmanship, unless it's a very obvious, like, oh, this guy can't go. They're not going to say anything, but we know that it's going to be tough enough for Indiana, but they need as healthy as much as possible Haliburton to have a chance. And I'm hoping it's just one of these like precautionary things, and hopefully that extra day and of rest, right, helps a little bit. I know game 4 is just going to be your typical, just, 1 day in between. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, man, it's definitely a concern. We didn't want something that happened today to happen during the finals, but it's just inevitable because, there are some guys that we're going to talk about that aren't, even playing right now. But yeah, man, let's see how he looks like, right? The first, we'll be interested in the first quarter, right, to see kind of how he's moving around and what he's got.
Yeah, I think we'll know if it's anything significant in the first quarter, right? If you see him kind of limping around or just not moving the way he normally would, I'd be a little more concerned. I think if it was something serious, they would have said it. They would have said he's dealing with something, but it could still be gameinship, and we won't really know until he kind of goes out there in game 3.